Welcome to Module 12, where we will continue working on a problem-to-solution paper about your identified problem of practice. You have completed body paragraphs that are clear, strong, and cohesive, containing carefully analyzed and interpreted evidence that support each paragraph's main idea and link back to the larger topic of the paper. We will discuss writing an introduction and the creation and purpose of a reverse outline in assisting you with revising your draft. You will conduct a peer review of a classmate's reverse outline during this module. You will also submit your draft at the close of this module for my feedback, which I will provide at the end of the next module. As you have followed the process of writing body paragraphs prior to beginning an introduction, you have a good idea about what your evidence has concluded and how your argument proceeds through it. That makes the writing of the beginning of the paper that much easier because it is designed to situate your paper within the existing situation or background that led to the problem you are examining, and to engage your audience with clear, concise information that will convince them to continue reading. That's it. That's the main purpose of the introduction of a problem-to-solution paper. You've already done the heavy lifting, those mountains in the background. Now, just direct your audience to the body of your work. In essence, give them a roadmap by situating the problem. Let's consider a problem-to-solution topic that we touched on in Module 11. The idea that a writing instruction program is necessary to help educators effect important policy changes in the field and to advance their careers. Here's a proposed introductory paragraph that situates why there is a problem that needs to be addressed later in the paper. Quote, "Clear communication of research findings and problems of practice is essential to effecting meaningful policy changes in the field of education. Central to this purpose, writing about curriculum, achievement gaps, teacher burnout, and other issues involves building arguments that would convince an audience of policymakers, educators, and the general public of necessary steps to advance important initiatives in these areas. Those who conduct research and practice in the field of education must understand audience and convey the purpose of their findings with effective clarity, structure, style, and accuracy. These factors, along with the weight of responsibility to students and society as a whole, make writing about education issues a daunting task. Consequently, many educators shy away from this critical area of their profession, which may impede the progress of important policy changes and initiatives, as well as their own careers." End quote. You can see how a reader would already agree with educators having a voice in important decisions involving curriculum, addressing the achievement gap, and teacher burnout. So it is clear that the reader would be on the writer's side from the start. That's a good thing. As you continue your draft, you are introducing the problem. To continue with our example, I'll give you a brief description here. This section of your paper would be considerably longer, as you may have to give additional background, define terms, and describe the problem in greater detail in order to fill in any gaps of knowledge on the part of your audience. Remember, for this paper you are assuming an educated reader, but not necessarily one who is knowledgeable about your field. So consider this simple description of the problem. Quote, "The ability to effectively communicate ideas, policies, and both qualitative and quantitative research according to an audience's expectations is the primary skill required for writing in the field of education. Additionally, skills such as the ability to connect evidence, to engage with other scholars in the field, and to develop a public voice on policy matters need to be developed over time. These skills are necessary for all educators, but especially for novice educators in the beginning of their careers, so that they do not face impediments to participating in scholarly activities and in advancement of their careers. Even seasoned practitioners wishing to publish about their work need to learn these skills of academic writing." End quote. Let's continue this exercise in composing an introduction and draft by introducing a solution. Quote, "Instruction in academic writing that covers a wide variety of writing tasks and prepares educators to publish their research and observations will help establish both young and veteran practitioners as important contributors to the discussion of policy initiatives on areas such as curriculum, achievement gaps, and teacher burnout. This type of instruction, granular in nature, will help educators refine their ideas and increase the likelihood that their writing will find an appropriate audience with the power to affect the proposed changes and initiatives described in journal articles, conference papers, opinion pieces, and other types of writing occasions. In addition, the process of learning to write academic papers is transferable to other areas of their professional lives." End quote. Finally, here's a simple evaluation to complete our example. Quote, "Effective academic writing skills help educators to take part in the ongoing dialogue of scholarship in the field. It will enable them to develop a voice and to engage their ideas with those of other scholars. The practice of academic writing develops important habits of mind, analysis, interpretation, reflection, that make for better teachers and administrators. Publication in important journals, presentations at conferences, and the ability to communicate effectively with a wide audience in a wide variety of writing occasions will also help in career advancement." End quote. While some writers write outlines as part of the pre-writing process, a reverse outline is actually composed after a first draft as a way to help a writer ensure their paper is organized in an effective way. Here's how it works. Part 1, print out your draft. Part 2, read it aloud slowly. Listen to the flow and how well the sentences and paragraphs flow from one to the next. Part 3, take notes in the margin of your printed out draft, writing the main point you identify in each paragraph. Then note all supporting evidence in the order it comes up. Part 4, write all of the information you have noted in a list. Part 5, review each sentence you have written down and see if the order makes sense or if the organization needs revising. Ask yourself the following questions. Could anything be moved around to make your argument or any of the paragraphs more persuasive? Are any of the parts repetitive? Do all paragraphs have sufficient supporting evidence? Are there any gaps, any details you had intended to include but appear to be missing? I have included a handout on reverse outlining prepared by the Duke University Writing Center under the Resources tab in this module. If you need any more guidance, please take a look at that. Later in this module, you will be submitting your reverse outline for peer feedback. You will type up your list and post it to the designated discussion board forum. You will also provide feedback on another classmate's reverse outline. I look forward to reading the drafts of your problem to solution papers. You can expect feedback at the end of the next module.